probably live now, Andrea. So hang on.
We might be. We might not be.
I don't know. Sometimes
We never know.
we're live now. Yes, we are live. So
Okay. Howdy,
Hang on.
folks.
Hey, everyone. Welcome to the call. I got my friend Andrea with us. I'm up here in Spokane, Washington. Sorry about not getting all dressed up today, Andrea.
Hey, you don't have to get dressed up.
You know, I've been traveling across the country. Last week I went to Minneapolis. This week I'm out here in Spokane, Washington.
Wow. That's a lot of miles.
A lot of miles. And, you know, a lot of people talking about lots of things all across the country.
Look what I'm drinking.
Mud.
Collagen.
Collagen, it's white.
This one isn't because I put 100% cacao chocolate in it.
Oh, there you go. You put chocolate in it.
And then I mix it up with my handy dandy little mixer. Everybody should have one of these. In fact, Sizzle should get these and sell them and put Sizzle on there. They're awesome. Works great for coffee.
By the time you have Sizzle selling them, then they have to increase the price. It's cheaper just to send everybody to Amazon for something like that because we don't make it.
I know you don't make it, but it's like a promotional thing.
Yeah. So how do you like the chocolate with the vanilla collagen?
I love it. A couple times a day, I love it. You just don't drink it too late.
Why is that?
You'll be up all night.
From the collagen?
Chocolate.
From the chocolate. Oh, really? You get kind of a caffeine effect from it or what?
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I do from chocolate.
Really? Most people do.
Do they?
Yeah, if I eat chocolate at night, I'm up all night.
Are you really?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm also drinking vanilla collagen B3 from Sizzle.
Awesome.
It's in my coffee.
That's great.
I like it because it's got, the collagen, and you and I have talked about it. It's got the types 1, 2, and 3 collagen, which are the 3 most important. I've seen studies where they've said there's 16 different types of collagen, and I've seen other studies that say there's 25 types of collagen. So, Andrea, we talked about this before, but and I'm not throwing you under the bus. I'm just seeing if you remember what we talked about. Why? Yeah.
No.
Why is it that you don't necessarily need to throw in all 25 types of collagen when you make a collagen supplement?
Well, I don't remember, but I would guess that you only need the first 3 big ones to do all the work that all of them do.
Yeah, because 70 to 90% of your collagen is types 1, 2, and 3.
Okay.
So
and that's for our bones, hair, skin, nails, joints.
All of that. Yep. Around the organs, the organ walls themselves. I mean, collagen is that important.
Yeah.
And we, you and I have talked about it. We talked about it, when we talked about the Renovator product, type 2 collagen, for joints, right?
Right. It's in our Renovator product.
And we've talked about hydrolyzed collagen, and so when you see the word hydrolyzed collagen, what does that mean to you?
Don't remember.
So hydrolyzed means that the collagen is actually broken apart so that your body can absorb it.
Okay. So ours is hydrolyzed.
Well, they all have to be hydrolyzed. Otherwise you might be chewing on
chicken bones.
Chicken combs, chicken bones, chicken feet.
Right.
Which brings us to another topic, right? I remember when I first started selling collagen products in my clinic, I want to say it was 25 years ago. We had a product. I'm not going to mention the name because they might still be on the market. But oh my God, did that stuff smell bad, and it tasted worse.
Here, have this collagen.
it was made
that.
out of chicken beaks and chicken combs, chicken feet. That's
Sounds
what it was made out of.
disgusting.
Yeah. So they hydrolyzed it. They put it into a liquid drink. And
It just all sounds disgusting.
yeah, OMG. It was
OMG.
horrible. I mean, it was horrible, Andrea. And
I bet you
you
didn't
know,
convince too many people to repurchase that.
funny thing was, it was a good selling product.
Yeah. They must have buried it in something to get it down.
I don't know. I didn't use it. I tried it and I'm like, yeah, no. But that's why when Sizzle made their collagen product, we added a really good vanilla flavor. I mean, it tastes good, doesn't it?
Well, it does with chocolate, and I haven't even tried it without chocolate.
Oh, it tastes good by itself with water.
That's great.
Yeah, it tastes great in coffee.
Well, you know me, I'm a chocoholic, so any excuse I can dump chocolate in something, I'm gonna.
But you know, when you read studies on collagen, that's the number one complaint, is that it tastes bad, smells bad, looks bad, right?
Mhm.
And you know, but honestly, the other day, Rennie got in an argument with somebody who said, "Oh, I like the taste of collagen. I just want a straight, no flavored collagen product."
You get all kinds, don't you?
I'm thinking, you probably like unflavored Jello too, then,
Right.
because that's what Jello is. Jello is collagen, that
For
weekly
sure.
stuff. You know. Hey, I got a funny story to tell you about Jello. You know, I mean, today
Okay.
we're just winging it, folks. If you just joined us, my name is Dr. Kurt Fisnick. This is my friend Andrea. Andrea is up in Michigan. I'm from North Dakota, but I'm actually up in Spokane at my son's house, visiting before winter hits. But okay, so here's a story about
Funny
Jello.
story.
A
Okay.
funny story. So my friend out in California, he's a chiropractor, but he's really anal on what he eats and all that. I mean, like, I might stop and have a truck stop burger and things like that as I'm driving across this great country, and I might have like a, huckleberry shake as I cross Michigan, or I mean not Michigan, but Montana, because it's the only place I get huckleberry shake made from fresh huckleberries. Right? Have you ever had huckleberries?
Well, of course, we've had huckleberries.
Have you had huckleberries?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't think that. You guys have them in Michigan?
Blueberries.
Oh, okay.
Same thing. Yeah.
No. It's not blueberries. Huckleberries.
Oh, I don't know. I've never known there was a difference.
So huckleberries aren't blueberries. They're different. So you haven't had them. Anyhow,
Thank you.
there's a white owl sitting in a tree out here, so he's got my attention. But so if you see me looking outside, it's because there's this snowy white owl sitting in the tree out here.
That's cool.
Sleeping. So my friend, he's a chiropractor out in California. He teaches at the college out there. He's got a private practice, but he's really anal on making sure that everything he eats is organic and everything of this and that. And I mean, everything just got to be just right.
Mhm.
I mean, like when he drives a car, he drives Consumer Reports, the safest car.
Okay.
Seriously.
Mhm.
So that kind of gives you a background of who he is. Anyhow, so his kids were little at the time. They're probably 30 years old now. If you're listening to the call, I'm talking about you, yes. But he took him to a birthday party, to one of their little friends' birthday parties, and so at lunchtime, at the birthday party, the mom went around and put everybody, all the little kids, a plate of food in front of them. And on the plate were these little squares of different colored Jello.
Mhm.
And I mean, you know what Jello is, and your kids
Yeah.
know what Jello is, right? And a lot of kids, they like it because it's kind of funny looking. It's squiggly and it's slimy and whatever,
Mhm.
right? And wiggles. And And so his kid was at this birthday party, and she was taking her plate, and she was just kind of shaking it like this, but she wasn't eating it. And finally, Dan said to her, "Honey, what's wrong?" And she said, "Dad, what is it?"
Right.
And she was like 6 or 7 years old. And she'd never seen Jello before. "What, Dad? What is it?" And he said, "Well, it's Jello. You eat it." She didn't even, I mean, she's looking at the other kids like, "What are you doing? What is
I
that
have
stuff?"
2 funny stories about Jello. One,
Okay.
I'll go fast. One, my mother and my grandmother served Jello at every family function we ever had. You had it with apples and strawberries and bananas in it, all kinds of stuff. Always had Jello, right? Every time. My mother's now 89, and we'll talk about Jello. She said, "I never did figure out how to make Jello." And I look at her and I go, "Mom, we had Jello like at least once a week when I was growing up." And she's like, "No, I never made Jello. I couldn't figure out how to make it." And I'm like, you know, second funny
I've never
story.
made Jello. I've never made Jello.
I did years ago. I haven't even eaten it in years, but
Yeah.
when my kids were little, we were invited we had like a commune of people living around us in the 70s who started a
Oh, a
health food
commune.
co-op.
You
And
lived in one
yeah,
of those
they were
communes.
commune, and they started a health food co-op and everything here. You know, they're like what you would lovingly call the crunchy bunch today. You know, they're all into
Crunchy
the
bunch.
natural stuff and everything. And they invited us to a Christmas party they had. And so I went, I'm like, what do I take? I don't know what to take. You know, so I made Jello. You wouldn't believe the looks of people looking at that Jello, just like that little girl, like, what is it?
What is it? What do I do with it? Well, they probably were thinking, what in the heck? Why did you bring this unnatural
They
stuff?
were, I'm sure.
Because, you know, a lot of people, they say, well, if Jello is collagen, why don't we just eat that?
It's full of sugar.
Well, that and it's irreversibly hydrolyzed, which means that your body can't use it.
Well, I didn't use a lot of it when I was growing up.
Yeah. So collagen, you know, collagen comes from a lot of different sources, and it seems like our call is kind of going down that route today, you know, which is kind of fun. You know, we didn't plan this morning. I know you were texting me and you wanted to talk about, you know, doomsday type preparation.
No,
But
not doomsday, just prepping.
doomsday preparation. And instead, you know, we're talking about collagen. So that's kind of fun. It's fun to see where these conversations go. But anyhow,
You never know, folks. You just never know what's going to come out of our mouths.
That's right. And so yeah, irreversibly hydrolyzed collagen, that's what's in Jello. And, you know, and so we're talking about, you know, using a collagen product that our company Sizzle came out with. I just sent my son a couple packages of it. So when I got here, you know, it had just arrived yesterday when I got here. So he had some.
Could use it.
So I could use it. And yeah, I actually did use it.
I know how you work.
I send my stuff in advance to where I'm going, so it's I don't run out. But anyhow, he used it too, and you know, I don't know. He used it, and he said, yeah, it tasted good. So, so you know, taste is important because that's what's going to get people to come back and reuse it, like we were talking about earlier. You know, I mean, if you got a product that tastes horrible, it tastes like chicken feet.
We're not gonna eat it.
Right? I mean, just the thought of drinking chicken feet, it to me is like, oh.
I know, if you say that one more time.
But that's what that product back, you know, 25 years ago was made from. And so now we've got this vanilla flavored, and we've added different things to it, haven't we? We've added MCT, medium chain triglycerides. And you're very familiar with that because you started promoting the keto diet to me long before I went on it.
Yeah.
So tell people a little bit about MCT.
Well, it's like a fat. It's a really good fat that you can get. Some people just buy it in a jar, but you can get it in all kinds of keto products that, and it just gives you the extra fat content you need when you're burning ketones for fuel.
Yep. And it comes from coconuts.
Coconuts, yes.
Comes from coconuts. And it one of the reasons that a lot of people that are doing the keto diet like to use MCT is because it doesn't need to bother the liver to be processed into the body, where most of your fats have to get the liver to produce the bile so that your body can dissolve them. And I'm sure most people are familiar with bile. They think of, the gallbladder.
Right.
But the gallbladder is only like a grocery sack. It holds the bile. The bile is actually made in the liver. So,
yep. And it's good for the brain.
Yep. And so if you have gallbladder issues, or if you have, if you're toxic, you really want to use MCT, because now your liver can go back to doing what it's supposed to do. If you don't have a gallbladder, if you had it taken out, you can still go on a keto diet. You just want to make sure you use MCT as your oil of choice.
Right.
There you go. So,
choice.
But I like it. What I found when I started using the Sizzle collagen B3 product was I was in a motorcycle wreck, as most of you know. I was in a motorcycle wreck 14 years ago. Today, 14 years ago, I was still laying in a hospital. I was still knocked out on all sorts of narcotics, and they were still doing surgeries on me. I had $350,000 worth of surgery done on my leg, and just to save it. And then they sent me home, and I had to do my own rehab on myself, because they wanted to cut my leg off so badly, they really wouldn't even give me a rehab program for my leg, because they said, we're not going to waste any money. Yeah, we're not going to waste any money or time doing rehab on you, because you're going to end up having it cut off anyhow. You're going to come back, and you're going to be praying that we cut your leg off, because
Have you visited those doctors since then? I would. I'd go in and do a dance for them.
No, I just, well, that's because you lived in a commune. That's why you would do the dance for.
I didn't live in a commune.
You lived in a commune, and
No,
I'm just thinking, I mean, this is probably one of those nudist colonies. That's running through my head.
No, it wasn't.
70s, yeah, freedom,
No.
Michigan.
They played guitar, and they had goats, and they drank goat milk, and they ate granola.
And ran around the hills and trees of Michigan in the raw. But anyhow, let's not go there. Let's not go there. But
get your mind back here.
Come back. But what were we talking about?
Collagen.
Oh, collagen. That's right. Goat's
your
milk.
leg, like not.
Oh yeah, we're talking about my leg, not cutting my leg up. So I've got all this scar tissue in my leg. And so I started taking the collagen product. Sizzle had me be one of the test subjects on the product, and I used it for not quite a month, and I noticed that the scar tissue in my leg started to break up.
Really? That's cool.
Yeah, 14 years of scar tissue, and we were taught in chiropractic college, when we go to these seminars on treating people who are in accidents, that you reach maximum medical improvement, within a year or two after an accident. You're not going to get any better. That's what they say.
Unless you take the bad out and put the good in.
So I mean, we can say with the products that we're using and we're promoting at Sizzle, I can show you that that's wrong. I mean, if we could get everybody that has old injuries to use these products like the collagen, just try it for 3 months, and you're gonna there's only enough in each bag for 2 weeks. There's not enough for
that old football injury, that quarterback knee,
the trick knee. Yep. Brain injuries. I think I think it would help, and a friend of mine, I was talking to him yesterday. I stopped and visited him on my way out here, and I said, we should get you on this, and let's try it. Worst case scenario, you get healthier, because it's going to work. It's going to make you healthier, Andrea. even if it doesn't fix that trick knee, even if it doesn't fix that quarterback shoulder,
It plumps your face out so you have less wrinkles. Does all
Yep.
kinds of.
And it's
Mhm.
just it really is good for you. And so, I was reading some stuff on collagen, and they said that really a lot of products on the market, because collagen is hot right now.
Yeah.
Collagen is hot right now. It's a hot product. And so everybody's coming out with their collagen there, like we have that too type of
Mhm.
people. And it's well, it a lot of the products just don't work. That's the reviews on them, the official reviews on the internet. If you look at it, that says they don't work. A lot of these products just don't work.
Well, the month before ours came out, I was using a different company's collagen because I decided I might need some collagen.
Isn't that funny?
So I did that for that month, and then ours came out. Surprise, we have collagen. So I ordered ours. But you know what? My skin is, I keep catching myself, like touching my own body once in a while, going,
like
oh,
Madonna.
Wow. That
like
feels
Madonna.
pretty good. You rub your back and you're like, wow, it's kind of velvety back there. That's kind of nice,
Yeah. But it does. I mean, a lot of women, they actually go in and get collagen injections, don't they?
Yeah, I've heard of that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So they'll get collagen injections under the skin, plump up their lip. I don't understand that. Why do they think that looks good?
I don't either.
Does that look good?
No. No. And no. If God gave you beautiful full lips, they're gorgeous. But if not, leave them alone.
Right? If you plump them up with that stuff and it's big enough for a bird to land on your lower lip, you've got
an issue going on, right?
Yeah. But but we're talking about, I mean, we're kind of going down that route of okay, so my accident happened 14 years ago. They kind of left me out to dry and really maximum medical improvement, MMI, we were taught, after 2 years, you've reached maximum medical improvement. What was it, 4 years ago, 5 years ago that we introduced the H pill?
Yeah, July 2017.
2017.
Yeah.
So that's only 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Doesn't it seem like we've been on the age pill for like a decade already?
I don't know, but pretty soon it'll be December 16th, and that's when I joined Sizzle 5 years ago. So we've almost known each other 5 years.
Yeah, well, we actually knew each other before that on Facebook.
A little bit.
But not because we were kind of aligned politically, but
right.
We won't go down that road. But anyhow, so I was talking to my friend in Montana yesterday as I drove out here to Washington, and he said that his buddy Art, who had helped me put the new roof back on my shop, if you remember, 3 years ago, and I for helping me, I gave him a couple months worth of age bill. In addition to paying him to help me put the roof back on, and Art said that since he started taking it, his arthritis pain is gone.
Nice. Well, right? We had Margaret back there in February 2018 who started taking it in October, and she went and got an x-ray and had one before with arthritis all up and down her spine. And then she went in and got another x-ray, and her doctor called her up and said, "What'd you do?" It was gone.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
yeah. My folks won't go without it. I mean, before I left, Dad called me and he said, "Hey, could you set some H pill up before you leave? We're going to swing up to Fargo and go pick some up at your house." And I said, "Yep, I'll set it up for you." And so now I want to get them on the new collagen product. Sometimes I think that as you get older, you don't understand, why do we have to take all these supplements, and so why is it, Andrea? Why is it that as time goes on, let's look back 100 years ago, why did people not need the supplements that we need today? I mean, need, not just want, but need.
Well, we already have talked so many times about the quality of the food back then. the minerals in the soil, and no toxins on the planet practically, so, the onslaught of toxins on our body just causes havoc in our body. So our body's busy doing that. And then the lack of nutrients that we get from our food, and then we've talked so many times about how many things start to, like, in our time frame here, deteriorate starting when you're 35 and 40. You're losing hyaluronic acid, you're losing all kinds of, I don't remember all the things we've talked about. And then the senescent cells turn on you, at age 40, 50% of them, 50% of your stem cells are in senescence. I mean, there's a whole lot of factors that go into that. I'm guessing that if we didn't have so many toxins and we had great nutrition, a whole lot of that would be postponed, but it isn't. It's all hitting us about 35, 40 years.
Yep. And even earlier now, they're saying that, that young kids now, I mean, well, they did a study, the Environmental Working Group which is a branch of the EPA, did a study, and I don't remember how many years ago now. It was at least probably, 15, maybe 20 years ago now, because I've been talking about for at least 10 years. And they took what was it, 500 infants, and they found that they had over 200 different toxins in the body, in those infants, toxins that like arsenic and DDT and all these different pesticides. And it's like they're finding it in the infants when they're being born.
In their umbilical cord blood, they're finding 250 on average toxins in a newborn.
Yeah. So that I was crossing Montana again. I'm kind of, using my current events as part of the call today. I get to write that off then, right?
You bet.
Yeah, it's a business. It's a business travel because I'm getting information for my call. But anyhow, so you've heard of Butte, Montana?
Butte, yes.
Butte, yeah.
The only city in Montana that has any people in it.
The only people that has any. Anyhow, so my buddy was telling me that Butte, Montana, he said, have you ever stopped there? And I'm like, no. And I just buzz on through because it looks like kind of an old dirty city. But he's, oh, you should stop there. There's a lot of history there. And then just down the road, there's another city about 20 miles down the road. It's called Anaconda.
Anaconda, like the snake?
Yeah. And I haven't stopped there either. And he said, well, you should stop there too. He said, there's a lot of history there as well. And I'm like, interesting. So, I said, tell me a little bit about the history of it. So Butte, Montana was where they found lots of copper. So during World War I and World War II, even today, it was one of the main producers of copper in the United States. And so there's a movie out called The Copper King.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And so there was like 5 guys that owned all these copper mines around there. And then they found all sorts of other precious minerals and stuff like that. So Butte was a very dirty city because they had all the mines, all around there. And then in order to get the copper and the gold and the precious metals out, then they had to use other things like mercury and things like that. And so when they smelt this stuff down, it gives off all these toxic fumes.
Ooh.
Right.
And here I thought Montana was like one of the cleanest states around.
That's what one would think, right? And
right?
But yeah, so all this toxic mercury and all that stuff is going up into the air. And so the elite, the 5 families that owned all the copper mines, they actually didn't live in Butte. They had homes
because
there.
They didn't want to get poisoned.
Exactly. So they lived in Anaconda.
They
lived in Anaconda. And I'm like, interesting. I never. Yeah.
Upwind.
So Anaconda Anaconda has this, if you drive by, you see this huge smokestack sticking up in the air.
Okay.
And so they used to smelt the metal down there, and they put this big smokestack up on this smelting plant so that they could blow the toxic waste way up in the air, so it would float somewhere else, so that the
Over
people.
to Fargo.
Well, I don't think it would go to Fargo because it would have to cross the mountains to the east, but I bet it would float to Missoula and places like that.
Yeah. Amazing,
But
isn't it? Well, you know, when Mount St. Helens blew up in what, 1980? I think it was 1981, something like that. We had ashes. We were building a new house and we had just had the basement floor poured. And we had ashes an eighth of an inch thick from
you
that.
did not. Eighth of an
Yes,
inch?
we did.
You
Yes, we
did
did.
not. Oh, come on.
Yes, we did.
I think you were living on a commune and smoking some of that wild stuff.
No, we weren't.
Ditchweed.
It's the
Michigan,
truth.
Michigan ditchweed.
No.
Yeah. Speaking of ditchweed, have you tried the CBD?
The CBD, of course I have tried it. I have
You
a bottle
see how
right
we
in
can just go from one subject to another, just right?
Yeah, CBD is great.
Yeah. And
That'll help you with your joints and your pain in your hips and your knees and shoulders and back.
I have to have my CBD every day. I do it 2 or 3 times a day. You know,
Awesome.
yeah, I find that, you know, I broke my back in December, and I found that the CBD really helps out with my back pain.
Great.
Yeah, so I do it 2 or 3 times
Are
a
you
day.
still having back pain from that?
You know, if I don't do my CBD and my other products, yeah, you know, or if I spend all day sitting in a car, yes.
Yeah. Well,
you know,
that'll make us all sore. Yeah.
yeah. So I have to get out about every 100 miles and walk around a little bit. Plus, I got Chewy with me. You know, and in human years, Chewy's 91.
Right. He's got to go to the bathroom.
You know, he does pretty good that way as far as traveling, but he likes to get out and stretch his legs. Otherwise, his joints get stiff too. He does CBD. He takes the Sizzle CBD.
That's great.
Yeah, Sizzle Safe CBD, and I say that Sizzle Safe because, you know, there's a lot of products on the market. We don't know what's in them. Yeah.
Right. A lot of knockoff products.
Yeah, they get their CBD from farms where God knows what they put in that soil as far as fertilizers, chemicals. What do they spray on it? You know, not good, Andrea.
Right.
Yeah. Plus, you know, I was reading have you ever gone to the third-party testing and actually read the report?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
When it came out.
So we have 0.1% THC.
Mm-hmm.
Not more. That's what they found. If you read the third-party testing, if you go to that QR code and you look at the third-party testing, a lot of people actually don't go look at that. But folks, I'm telling you, if you buy CBD, you want to have a product that's got that third-party testing, that QR code,
Definitely.
you know, because that guarantees what's in the product. And so our quality control third-party testing shows that it's 0.1%. And, you know, and maximum on a CBD product, you can only have 0.3%. But according to our third-party testing, we're 0.1% THC, which is, you know, 66.7% less than what's required. So,
right.
yep. And now they're finding that some of these companies are not removing the Delta 8 variant. Have you heard of that?
No.
Well, Delta 8, I mean, no, I shouldn't have said variant. I'm so used to saying Delta variant, but, you know, because of other stuff going on in the world.
Let's not talk about that.
So Delta 8 CBD or THC. And so the Delta 9 is the one that's required to be removed because that's the one that gets you high. It gives you the hallucinogenic effect.
See, my commune friends, they might not like it.
They might not like it. right? Because they're all running around naked up there in the mountains of Michigan.
No, they're not. We don't have mountains here.
Youpers. You do up in the Youper area. I've
No,
snowmobiled up there.
that's way up north. That's way up north. That's like Fargo territory.
Fargo territory.
We don't go up there. It's too cold.
Cool. You know, it's going to be cold in a couple of weeks. I can feel it right now. Like this morning here in Washington, when I got up at 7 o'clock, which is 9 o'clock back home, I slept in today. It was only 40 degrees out up here.
Really? I thought Washington stayed pretty warm because of the air off the Pacific.
Oh, we're on this side of the Cascades though.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
So there's the west side of the Cascades, there's the east side of the Cascades, then there's the west side of the Rockies. So we're kind of, where I'm at right now, we're in that
You're
area.
in the middle.
Yeah. Right. So it doesn't get as cold as North Dakota. Like when it hits 30 below in North Dakota, it's not 30 below here.
Or 60 below.
Yeah, we've never gotten 60 below with wind chills.
You were like 3 years ago when you were taking off for Australia, it was like 50 below or something.
40 below.
Crazy.
40 below. It was 40 below. It hit 40 below, but with wind chills,
I die. Die.
Yeah. Well, that's why I like to go to down to Australia in the winter.
Right.
And and so all my friends down in Australia that are listening,
You like the big spiders down there.
Oh, I love spiders.
I know you do.
And snakes.
They got big ones over there.
Oh, I'll tell you what. I mean, when you go to Australia, even the plants want to kill you.
It's a pretty harsh country, isn't it?
It is. It's like, when I go pig hunting down in Texas, you go walking through the brush and the trees, they have thorns on them that are like 2 inches long, and it'll stab into your bone and it'll grab you and you can't move. You're just, you're stuck.
Yeah, we have hawthorn trees here. I've got one in my neighbor's yard. They have thorns that long. If you walk on them, they'll go right through your foot.
Oh, man. It makes my foot hurt just thinking about it.
Mm-hmm.
So, Andrea, hey, we are. We've talked for over a half hour and we had no subject today. We just jumped on and we're just winging it.
And they're probably thinking they had no plan today at all.
At all, nothing. No plan.
We got nothing, folks. So what we want you to do is put below in comments, what would you like Doc and Andrea to discuss on the calls? Because we're kind of going, wow, we've talked about that. We've talked about that, So give us some ideas,
Yeah.
Let's get some things you're interested in.
Right.
We'll be glad to share.
And we're tired of talking about, the virus.
Yeah, we don't want to talk about that. Yeah, we're not going to talk about that.
We beat that
I just
horse.
did a 6-hour conference Friday on that. I'm kind of fried on that topic.
Yeah.
I learned a lot of stuff.
Yeah. Do your research on it. I got in an argument. Well, I didn't really get in an argument with a guy the other night in Minneapolis, but a week ago today, last Tuesday, we were sitting around a campfire. We were having a campfire at my buddy's backyard, and the neighbors came over, and right away he brings up that subject. Yeah, no, just briefly, and he brought up that subject, and I'm like, we're not going to agree. Let's just not talk about it.
This is something you can agree on. Bottom line, the most important thing that you can be doing for this coming season is to get enough vitamin D. Minimum 4,000 IUs per day. If you're obese, take double that, because I learned Friday that fat cells actually suck up all the vitamin D and then you don't have it in the blood. So you need more.
Well, vitamin D is fat soluble.
Yep. Well, that's why the fat cells love it.
Yeah.
So it keeps you out of the hospital, keeps you off the vent. You have to have vitamin D, period.
There you go. So that's all we're going to say on that subject. Andrea, thanks for being here with me every Tuesday. Folks, if you're listening to this live, thanks for being here. Comment. If you're listening to the recording, get back to the person that shared it with you and try some of these products. Try the collagen, and when I say try it, I don't mean just try it for 2 days. Do it religiously for 90 days, for 3 months, and see what it does for you, because natural products aren't drugs. They don't trick your body into doing something. And sometimes it just takes a while for your body to make those changes. So, Andrea, I'll let you close out the call.
Well, thanks for being with us, Jack, even though you're out there visiting your son. We appreciate that. And we hope everybody will just tune in next Tuesday at noon Eastern time. And see you later, folks. Bye.
Bye.